Welcome back everybody for another brand new video. Today we're going to be diving back into Resident Evil 9, but we're going to be doing something a little bit different than we normally do. Usually we kind of try to do like a everything you know about the game so far, or like, you know, like little things that could be coming to the game. This one's a little bit different. It's still pulled from an article, but today we're going to be diving into predictions Redditors have had. Now the article breaks them down, so it'll say the Reddit user and all that stuff, so we're going to read through these. I'm on Reddit all the time trying to find details and, you know, little leaks for the videos, so diving into this is going to be pretty interesting to hear what these Reddit users have in store for Resident Evil 9 as far as predictions. If you guys do enjoy this kind of content, please be sure to smash the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing here for all kind of gaming news we cover here, and turn on the notification bell so you guys never miss an upload. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Since it's not really an article we're going to be reading, I'm going to pull up the website here and just go through it with you guys, since it looks pretty freaking interesting. So it's called Resident Evil 9 Predictions Redditors Have. Shout out to Ben Hathaway for writing the article. It came out January 23rd. Alright, so getting into the first one, it says, it will be an FPS. The best way to see Resident Evil's scariest villains is up close and personal. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard and Resident Evil Village took this to the next level by changing the presentation to a first-person view. Osterley from Reddit, that's the Reddit's username, said, from history, it'll be a first person since Capcom mixes up the gameplay elements for the first main numbered series. 1 to 3 was a fixed camera, 4 to 6 was over the shoulder, and 7 to 9 will most likely be a first person. The real question is, what will 10 be? It's true that there are certain patterns within the franchise, but they're most likely coincidental. However, given the popularity of Biohazard and Village, it would make sense to stick with the FPS format. I too agree. I think it's going to stay with the FPS format. Now, I think if they threw the option in with all the mods people have been creating as far as a third-person perspective for Village, it wouldn't hurt to just put a pick-your-own kind of camera angle type thing in the game. Next theory is there will be a less emphasis on horror. Now, this Reddit user, VRedisBird67, agreed that the game's narrative and action will be shown via a first-person perspective. However, they added, but even less emphasis on horror. It's going to be more action-focused. They set the expectation up through Resident Evil Village, and in the epilogue and after the credits by talking up Rose and her abilities. Biohazard and Village found an action-horror balance that worked for the first-person shooter format, namely it leaned towards providing scares just over providing firefights. This return to the series' original focus was appreciated by fans, so this Redditor's theory is only a maybe. With this one, I think they should keep the balance Village had. I thought personally Biohazard was like off the rails scary. I think with Village they had a good balance, but with Biohazard was a little too scary. So going into Resident Evil 9, I think they should keep the same format 8 had. This is an interesting one. It says there will be an alien conspiracy. Mr. Industrial from Reddit gave their thoughts on the series' influences up to this point and what subgenre they think the 8th installment will be influenced by. Now, I don't know why they said 8th, because this is going to be the 9th installment. It said alien conspiracies. 7 was Chainsaw Massacre slasher vibes. 8 was a Dracula Frankenstein / medieval fantasy. I keep calling it like a Van Helsing vibe. So it says 9 should be sci-fi and aliens and blank. Do I want it to be that? No, not necessarily, but the pattern is there for it. So the Redditors, like it says, it's elating Resident Evil Biohazard to like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre murder house type thing, Village to folklore, like a Van Helsing type story. So they're saying that they should do a sci-fi spin-off for Resident Evil 9, or that's what they're predicting may happen. Although I can see what they mean here, I really don't think Resident Evil is going to go down the route of aliens. I don't see it. I don't think they've ever tried to introduce that. So, I mean, we'll see. It says, next one is, it will be a Rose or Mia's story. Doggo10 believes Resident Evil 9 will pick up directly where Village left off, thinking its purpose will be to explore Rose's mold abilities that she threatened to use in the post-credit scene, or Mia's story. That would give us the daughter's story or the mother's story, considering that after Village it says the father's story is now finished. Next is Chris Redfield will have a substantial role. Now, we did see that at the end of Village. Chris Redfield just made a moderately well-received appearance in Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, even if it wasn't one of the film's most intelligent characters, but he hasn't been in the central protagonist in a Resident Evil game for a few installments now. I think the last one he was the main protagonist was Resident Evil 5. However, he was a playable character towards the end of Village and had a heavy presence with the game's narrative. And then it says Redditor Dr. Wonderbar posted that the franchise stalwart will make an appearance in Resident Evil 9 as well. I expect RE9 will address some of the loose ends introduced in Resident Evil Village, so I expect Chris to play a big role. Some of the other Redditors speculated that Chris's time is coming to an end, but the user doesn't think so, adding, I don't think they can kill him anytime soon, though, based on the post-credit sequence from Resident Evil 8. The Redditor is referencing how someone called Redfield, a male, lands in an Umbrella helicopter. Now, the next theory is either Rose will save Chris or Chris will save Rose. The plot of Resident Evil 9 is a mystery, but there have been sprinkled hints about which characters are the future of the franchise, and even if it's just for the time being. And so this user Faded Dream 555 thinks it will go one of two ways. It could be a Chris solo story in which he fights to uncover the secrets of the BSAA, as well as save Rose from them. That said, saving Rose would be a rehash of Resident Evil 8, so maybe she should be a playable character. Maybe it'll be another way around and Chris goes missing and she needs to find and save him. The next one is Jill Valentine and Claire Redfield should return. So the one Redditor said, and the Redditor's name is The Rated Poet, thinks that 2 legacy characters should return in Resident Evil 9. In their words, don't really know what it's in store, but I would love to see Jill and Claire return. Jill has been out of the picture since 2009, Resident Evil 5, and Claire since 2011. It'll be a bonus if they partner up for the first time ever. The Redditor then mentioned how they're tired of male Redfield, to which Jeep Vivo replied, I think Capcom wants a character that ties all the games together, and they will choose Chris. This is a fair point. Chris is a popular character, but the same could be said of Jill, Claire, and Ada Wong. For Jill and Claire, though, as the Reddit puts it, it's now or never. The next and final speculation, as they have it, is Resident Evil Crucifix, and this isn't the first time I'm seeing this. I've seen a lot of things where people are calling Resident Evil 9 Crucifix, and that's also being able to use the Roman numerals like they did in Village. It says the 7th installment of the Resident Evil game series was titled Biohazard, but its stylization is more interesting. Essentially, it's Resident Evil with the Vil being the Roman numeral for 7, and then Resident Evil Village was stylized as Village, and with the Vil serving as the Roman numeral for 8. So Hash Styles thinks it will continue with Resident Evil 9 in the form of Resident Evil Crucifix. Even if they don't go down with the fitting title, it stands to reason that Capcom will keep going with the stylization in some form or the other. So that's going to do it for the Resident Evil speculations. I think there's some really good ones in there. The Crucifix one, like I said, I've seen before. I've seen things with people talking about bringing back Claire and Jill. There's things like that. The first-person thing, the way it has been with the past 2 games has been first-person, so I don't see why they're going to veer away from that. However, if the leaks and speculations we have for Village is true, where they're going to get a third-person mode, it doesn't hurt for Resident Evil 9 to have the option. That's going to do it for the Resident Evil 9 speculations from Reddit. I hope you guys did enjoy this content. This is kind of something new where I was just pulling... I found the article and I thought it'd be a really fun thing to cover as far as just people's speculations on Resident Evil 9. And if you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to smash the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing here if you guys enjoy this content and all kind of gaming news content and haven't already subscribed. And turn on the notification bell so you guys never miss an upload. As always, my name is Ross, and I will see you guys in the next video.